Spurs chairman Daniel Levy's been speaking to the Overlap podcast. He says he'll be remembered more fondly once he's left the club.
I think it's one of those situations, when I'm not here, I'm sure I'll get the credit.
So you think you'll have to basically sort of... you think you'll have to exit?
I think it's one of these things that, you know, when you come here and you look at this wonderful building, and the fact that other clubs now are trying to copy what we're doing should be a sign that actually maybe we did something a bit bold and right.
I mean, the question to me is not, and I don't mean this unkindly, honestly, Andy, is not whether Spurs fans remember him fondly.
Yeah.
It's whether they'll remember him in terms of they're not going to be talking about him in 10, 15 years' time in the same way as they would be talking about Son or Harry Kane.
No, of course not. No, look, and I don't think Daniel for 1 second is expecting anything like that. Certainly the stadium will be his legacy. The stadium will be certainly the when people talk about that, about the hard work and the dedication, and obviously he put in, and the considerable expense as well, making sure that the money's available. I think he's always been one of those chairmen that's always made money available to managers that he's employed. But again, I think you're in the wrong business. If you're looking for a pat on the back as a football club chairman, I don't think you're getting it.
No.
You ain't getting it.
Of course, last season, Daniel claimed that his goal was to win the Premier League and the Champions League with Spurs, and he expanded on those comments on the Overlap.
Nothing has changed in terms of our ambition. It's always been the case. I think that, you know, having won the Europa League, thank you to Ange, you get a taste of it, but it's not enough. And it's never been enough. I mean, we've been, I think, in 16 or 17 semi-finals, 7 finals, and we haven't won enough. We now need to use that as a springboard to keep winning, because that's what this is all about. We've won 2 trophies in the last 20 plus years. We've been so close so many times. And
Why is that?
Do you know, I can't really answer that, because I'm not the one that picks the team, motivates the team, picks the players.
Yeah, and because only one side can win the Premier League, only one side can win the Champions League. If you're knocking on the door and getting to finals,
you're not far away.
You're not far away.
No, you're not far away.
That should be good enough, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
For most clubs.
For most clubs, I think so. And of course, the problem we have with football in this country, well, anywhere, is you have a good season, Jeff. If you have a good season, by that I mean finishing in the top 4 is always regarded as a good campaign for most clubs. Finish there, and then the following season you're just outside of it. All of a sudden you're going backwards. It's a failure. It's the margins are so fine between getting over the line and not. And look, Spurs last year, disastrous league campaign, and absolute, at times they were a mess to watch, and it was a shame because Ange's early days at Spurs were really exciting, and then it just turned into a bit of a mess, but it finished brilliantly for them, and it gives Thomas Frank this time around a great opportunity to really go and show what he's all about. And I do think for managers nowadays, working with someone like Daniel, look, you go to a club like Spurs, and he's had Jose, he's had Conte, he's had all of them. He's had a lot of big guys there with huge reputations and egos, and he's had them and he's fired them. So I think Thomas Frank, under no illusions, he knows that he's got to very quickly get his message across and make sure that Spurs are ultra competitive. The football, Jeff, we'll see what sort of football they play, but they've got to be very competitive in all those big competitions.
Well, Daniel Levy says that Thomas Frank understands exactly what's expected of him.
Whenever you appoint a coach, you always believe it's right, and you need a lot of ingredients for it to be right. I think Thomas is a highly intelligent individual. I think he's got a fantastic way about him in terms of communication. I think he will be great at developing both young players and older players and making them better. He gets the style of football we want to play. He understands that, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. We haven't said to him, you've got to win the league this year. All we know is...
When does he have to win it?
As soon as possible, but no pressure. Look, we just want to compete at the highest level.
What would be a good season for Thomas Frank?
Oh dear. Again, I think the new Champions League format will help them. I do. I think we saw from watching the Champions League last season that you got these 8 games now to start with, and that whole Champions League stuff doesn't really start taking shape until you've played 3 or 4. I think that will help Tottenham in lots of ways. Where are they going to finish in the league, Jeff? 7th.
Yeah.
Something like that. My gut feeling is suggesting 6 or 7. I don't see them being in the top 4. I don't think they've got quite enough. And look, it's going to be a steep learning curve for Thomas Frank, because ever since he's been at Brentford, quite rightly, it's all been up, up, up. The trajectory has all been one way. Well, now it's going to start to wobble a little bit. Now it's going to vary a little bit because he's at a bigger club under more scrutiny. Every decision he makes will be analysed. Every substitution he makes, there'll be just a little bit more raised eyebrows here and there. And so he's got to deal with all of that as well. Very likeable guy, clearly. As I mentioned earlier, he's got to get his message across to those players very, very quickly, Jeff, for them to get off to a good start.
So Daniel Levy, speaking to the Overlap podcast, claiming he'll get the credit he deserves after he leaves. Simon, who's a Spurs fan, says, Jeff, we got to those semi-finals and finals despite having Levy and not because of him.
There you go. And there will always be Spurs fans that believe that, Jeff, always.
Yeah, and he will have his supporters as well, Daniel Levy. Yes. 03717 223344 is the number to ring. Give us a call. And Andy, you and I were both wrong about club chairman being remembered fondly, and Paul has put us right. And you are spot on, Paul, by the way. In my opinion, anyway. He said, I'd like to politely disagree that chairmen are not going to be remembered fondly. If the horrendous day comes when Tony Bloom has to leave his position at Brighton, it would be a bigger loss than any other member of staff at the club, including all the players. He is the legend at Brighton. That's from Paul and Finn. And actually, that's a brilliant point.
It is.
Made.
No, it is. Yeah, it is. He's been he has been incredible, and the way that they are the model out there for everyone to look at and analyse and think, well, can we do it a bit like them? Because what they do at Brighton, they tend to get it right. About time they won something, Jeff. About time Brighton won something. They've got some good players, selling them for big money. So it's about time now, I think, that you start looking at a team like that thinking,
This is Brighton.
I know.
This is Brighton. You're talking about the Goldstone and the Withdeed and almost relegated out the Football League. And look where they are now. They've had European football, not this next season, admittedly. Yeah. They're in a magnificent stadium. They're an established Premier League club.
But I think their fans would like to see them now going the distance in one of the cup competitions. I think so. I think they're perhaps capable of it. We'll see.
So we were talking about Spurs a moment or two ago. John has texted in and said, so Son gone, Maddison out for months, Kulusevski still out, Morgan Gibbs-White fiasco, Daniel Levy spent £55 million on one player while Chelsea have spent $275 million. Good luck, Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
You'll need it, mate. Yeah. Interesting points, John. Thank you very much indeed.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.